So could buying a lottery ticket ever be seen as a good investment? Well, to discuss that, I spoke with Ric Edelman. He's chairman and CEO of Edelman Financial Services. I began by asking where the profits go from all these ticket sales.
Well, they go to the various state governments that are participating in the lottery. Most of the states use the money for either education or health care.
Now, in countries like the UK, they also make sure the money goes to health, education, and the environment, and also some charitable causes. Do you think there's enough of a good breakdown between the amount that the winner gets in the US versus how much the government gets?
Well, everybody is always complaining about the fact that it's a stacked deck. Clearly, this is a very profitable venture for the government, and any investment advisor would tell you that it's a really rotten deal for investors. As investment strategies go, this is about as bad as it gets. The rate of return, and forgetting about the astronomical odds, that it's the odds are 1 in 300 million that you'll win. Forget about that fact. On the comparison of the amount of money invested relative to the amount of payout received net of taxes, it's a bad investment return. It's a loser.
Now, when it comes to whether you should get the lump sum or whether you should get the annuity, there are a lot of misconceptions out there. Could you clear that up for us, please?
Well, it's a little bit different with this one because it's $1.5 billion. So there's really no wrong answer in that regard because the numbers are just too astronomical. But for most folks, when they take the lump sum, they have to pay taxes immediately on that money. And they end up with about losing half or 40% of the winnings. If they take it as an annuity stream, then they pay the taxes over time as they receive the money over a 20-year period normally. The problem with the annuity is severalfold. Number one, they get a fraction of the winnings in year one. Second, there's a time frame when that money stops. So in 20 years, they might have developed a lifestyle based on that annual income. Suddenly, in 20 or 25 years, that money's gone. And this is why a lot of past lottery winners find themselves eventually in bankruptcy.
Now, despite the astronomical odds, obviously people are just kind of focused on the one as opposed to the 1 in 300 million. Everybody thinks that they're going to be the one. And Americans actually spend more money on the lottery than they do on music, on books, movies, sports tickets. So why is there this appeal if you know that it's going to be a losing deal and the odds are just not in your favor?
Well, let me just ask you a question. What would you do with $1.5 billion? It's a fun question, and it's the entertainment value of it all. It's the American dream, at least, of getting rich, and some people are trying to get rich quick, and of course that never happens. And so it's just the psychological enjoyment factor of what are the possibilities? How would my life differ? Who would I give money to? What would I do with all that cash? And I think that people are just caught up in the excitement of it, and strictly as a financial planner, my attitude is great, no problem. Buy yourself a lottery ticket, spend the $2 for its entertainment value. Where I get upset is when I hear stories of people cashing their government pension checks in order to buy thousands of dollars worth of lottery tickets that will end up being worthless. That is really scary.
And speaking of the breakdown of the people who are actually buying these tickets, studies show that the people who play regularly tend to be poorer and less educated, and the richer, more educated people only tend to jump in when these lotteries balloon up to these huge amounts. So some people are calling it basically a tax on the poor. What's your opinion on that?
Yes, I agree completely. It's not just a tax on the poor, it's a tax on the stupid because it is such a bad investment opportunity. And so it is a regressive tax in that regard. You could argue, and many do, that the government is taking advantage of people who have lack of education and a lack of wealth and getting them to pay a disproportionate amount of their income in lottery tickets. And it's really very unfair.
And as we look at some of the differences between how the US operates with its lottery winnings versus other countries, like you have Spain that has the El Gordo Christmas lottery, which always gets divided up among a large group of people, whereas in the US, there is that chance that single person could win it.
Yeah, I think it's really absurd that some today is likely to receive $1.5 billion, one single individual. That's insane. I mean, clearly that person would be just as happy with half as much money, and I would argue that it would be much better to have a lot of people win smaller amounts than have a single individual win this astronomical sum.
Now, everyone wants to get in on the action. We're even seeing some ticket bookers buy for people overseas who want to buy these tickets, but they don't actually live in the US.
Well, first of all, it's illegal. You have to be a resident. You have to be over the age of 18. So I wouldn't support the activity.